So this is the new attorney general that is replacing Pam Bondi, responding to questions about the Jeffrey Epstein files. So let's check out this video.
Thank you. You said this is the end of the Epstein, of your review of the Epstein files. So just to clarify, is the public going to learn the identities of the men who abused the girls with the information that you're releasing? And if not, why not? And then I have a quick follow-up.
I mean, you just baked in an assumption into your question that I have never said and I don't know to be true. Is the public going to learn about men that abuse these girls? Like, what does that mean? I mean, I don't understand what that.
We're so screwed. We're so screwed. That already, this guy is being defensive about the Jeffrey Epstein files, getting angry and pissed off. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean about the files? What do you mean about these men? What does your question mean? This guy's already getting defensive about the files. This is insane. This is crazy. So the Trump administration thinks right now by removing Pam Bondi, they're going to win back some points with the American people, and they're going to be bringing us back, right? They're trying to do like some wins. They're giving us the bare minimum slop, okay, to try to get us to be a little bit on board before the midterms. They're trying to win back some popularity. And this guy steps in, this moron, and he's worse. Pam Bondi's pretty bad. But already by this guy and his demeanor on how he's responding to this question tells you everything you need to know. You're just like, oh, we're not going to get those files. We're not going to, these guys aren't going to be federally prosecuted. That's not going to happen. That's not reality. Like, it's just not going to happen, which drives people crazy. But let's listen to the rest of what he has to say.
Means.
Well, I mean, they're the men who abused the young women through Epstein's.
Look, we said in July, and it remains as true today as it was in July. If we had information, we meaning the Department of Justice, about men who abused women, we would prosecute them, right? We talked about the work that we're doing. That's why I said that. I said this earlier. There's this built-in assumption that somehow there's this hidden tranche of information of men that we know about that we're covering up or that we're choosing not to prosecute. That is not the case. I don't know whether there are men out there that abuse these women.
That's crazy. That's not good. That's not good. That's a bad response by that guy. And see, this is not what you do. This is not going to win back the American people. I mean, this is just more garbage slop that is just going to push, it's just going to push the Democrats inevitably back into power. And this guy was a Democrat not too long ago. This guy was a Democrat for a long time. Just about a year ago, this guy became a Republican. And what does that even mean anymore? You know, what does it even mean to be a Republican or a Democrat? Like, it doesn't matter. You're going to get fucked either way. Yeah. Why is he being so combative about these types of questions? They are obviously trying to hide stuff. Yeah, no, exactly. Like, it is clear. This guy is he's a part of the problem. He's a part of the deep state establishment where they are protecting these Epstein clients. I mean, that's why, like, you see such powerful figures that were name dropped, that such as like the Bill Clintons, the Leslie Wexners. I mean, there's nothing. Leslie Wexner funded Jeffrey Epstein's entire operation. Leslie Wexner gave Jeffrey Epstein his start. He gave him, I believe it was around 35-40% of Leslie Wexner's portfolio to Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was handling a shitload of his money. And obviously the schematics there was that Leslie Wexner was passing along young, gorgeous women from Victoria's Secret to Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, because Jeffrey Epstein not only targeted young children, young girls, but also he was going after younger women as well in their 20s. Like, that's what was happening. And he had this sex trafficking ring with all types of women from all different ages, and not only just women, but young girls, which is horrible. But you have this guy now this is the first thing he has to say. This guy gets questioned about the Epstein files, and you're right, he's already being combative. He's fighting with these reporters now. It's just like, it's such a shit show. It is so bad. And now we're escalating with the Iran war, where there's a possible draft now talking about, like, that's a reality that's starting to set in. A possible draft, boots on the ground. I mean, there is something that will happen here big this upcoming weekend. Believe me, I would say something is going to happen. But again, this is where people start to become crazy. This is where people get so frustrated because it makes you question law. It makes you question, well, does this justice system work? Because if I do something illegal and I break the law, I'm going to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. But when these guys that are rich and powerful that fund okay, Democrats and Republicans, both sides of the aisle, and fund their campaigns, these wealthy people are not going to be prosecuted. That's a separation of, it's a separate class. It's a secret society. They will not be federally prosecuted because they are putting up the money. They are funneling the money into these campaigns. Miriam Adelson, okay? Peter Thiel. And talking about Trump's campaign. So Trump's cabinet is completely filled with a bunch of Israel firsters, by the way, have undying loyalty to Israel. It's insane that this is the reaction that this guy has. I mean, it's clearly we're not going to get what we want. So these people are going to be prosecuted from the Jeffrey Epstein files. And I don't think this is something that the American people are just going to let go easily. Like, we're not going to forget this, and nor should we forget this. We should remember this. And to be honest with you, if we're not going to get what we want with Donald Trump, he's not going to prosecute these people, because we saw his reaction 2 months ago when he was asked about the Jeffrey Epstein files. He was upset that we were still asking about Jeffrey Epstein. And if the president is saying that, what do you think this new attorney general is going to say? He's going to give you the same garbage slop and continue to feed you bullshit. It just drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. I said this the other day. I saw these Democratic liberals doing this No Kings protest, and all these liberals are doing the No Kings protest. And, you know, Republicans aren't protesting anything either right now. They're not protesting shit, but you know, this is like an opportunity in America where we have a really good opportunity to come together as Republicans and Democrats. And I think we should both agree and align on the fact that young children were sexually abused and possibly killed, most likely, most definitely. The fact that we're not coming together and grabbing our pitchforks and protesting that none of these men and women have been federally prosecuted in the United States of America, protested against that, I think that's something we should come together as a nation against. I think we could all agree that the sexual abuse and the molestation of young children should be honestly met with a death penalty, to be honest with you. That's what should happen. We're not going to get that. And not only are we not even going to get that, we're not even going to get federal prosecutions of these people who have exuberant amounts of wealth, that feel like they're gods, that they can never be touched, and they could sexually assault children, and there's no consequences for that. And then that's the other thing too. Since none of these guys are going to be federally prosecuted, what do you think happens? Do you think they're just going to stop now that like the you know, cat's out of the bag, that everyone knows about the Jeffrey Epstein files now and one of the biggest sex trafficking rings? Do you think that stopped? Do you think these guys learned their lessons and now they're so fearful they just stop doing that? No, that's still happening. It's like a kid. It's like parenting. Like, if you have a kid and they're doing something you don't like and it's not right, are you going to discipline them and teach them not to do that anymore? Or are you going to let them just continue to do it and let them figure it out for themselves? No, you're going to discipline them. You're going to say, no, stop that. That's wrong. And these guys haven't learned their lessons. They have gotten away with it, and they still are sitting out there today, feeling comfortable as ever, knowing that they're protected by their wealth and that they're not going to go down because they're some of the most powerful people in America, and it's one of the biggest markets of all time. And so if you don't arrest those people and you don't prosecute them, then they're going to continue to do it because there's no fear. There's no fear of jail time. There's no fear even of death.